Alrighty, so we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna tell you guys my experience with 75 Day Hard Challenge. So first off, if you're wondering what is 75 Days Hard, it's a mental toughness program created by Andy Frisella. For 75 days straight, no excuses. You follow 5 rules. One, you must follow a diet, any diet of your choice, but no cheat meals or alcohol. 2 workouts a day, each 45 minutes, and one must be outside. To drink a gallon of water daily is number 3. And then take a progress picture along the way. And if you miss one of those tasks, then you have to start from day 1. So I'm going to tell you guys exactly my experience, my before and after, and if I would recommend it to another person. So first off, what even inspired me to get into this was I had a breakup after 7 years. So I just decided it was time to lock in because I wanted to take control over my life. And 75 Day Hard was what I felt was necessary for the first step of that. So first week, I've already worked out my entire life. It wasn't like a brand new thing to me. Like it wasn't something I wasn't used to, but I was just actually fully locking in because before I took it serious. I went to the gym super consistently. As you can see in this picture here, I was super consistent. Didn't miss any workouts often, but my diet I let kind of go all over the place. So I didn't have a specific diet picked out for 75 Day Hard. I just wanted to make sure I ate mainly one ingredient meals and track every calorie that went in my body and track all my steps, getting at least 10,000 steps on average every single week. Luckily, in my situation, working a 9 to 5, my specific situation when I started this was perfect timing because I was so busy at work because I'm in sales and I'm in a type of sales where during the summertime it gets extremely busy, and that's when I decided to start this challenge was towards the end of summer. So it was already super busy at work. So realistically, not eating was pretty easy for me at that time because I was always so busy, which is a key to losing weight if you don't know already. Just staying extremely busy because you're not going to think about food enough to where you're going to sit down and eat it if you're constantly working. So that made it super easy. The first 2 weeks really was not that bad just because of the fact I was so busy. And the meals I were eating, which was just straight eggs, egg whites, and spinach, and like 28 grams of cheese, was all I was eating, and it was extremely satiating. So I really didn't have a hard time feeling full. But it also got to the point where so long into this challenge, I didn't even really see this as a challenge at this point. Like I was just 75 days locked in. But I got to a point where food was not food whatsoever. It literally was fuel. I wrote down food equals fuel, which is true, but it's kind of not a healthy and good way to look at food because it'll give you a ED, if you know what I'm saying. So I wouldn't really recommend that, but to me at that time, all I cared about was food equals fuel, and I want to get as shredded and jacked as humanly possible. And that's exactly what I did. Literally just day in and day out, eating eggs, spinach, bacon, turkey bacon to be exact, and 28 grams of cheese. Okay, so we'll get into the good of the 75 Day Challenge in my experience. The good was obviously super mental clarity. I was extremely focused. I had no brain fog whatsoever. And then the other obvious benefit was I was in the best shape I have ever seen my own body in by far. I mean, I didn't even think it was possible for me to get abs. That's how, because I was, like I said, I always worked out and my abs always just kind of sucked. So I was just like destined to just feel like I could never get abs truly. So doing this challenge and finally being able to see them, it was super addicting. But that's going to kind of lead me into the bad part of things. Is it was so addicting to the point, like I was saying, where food wasn't even food anymore, and I did not enjoy food as a whole. And it was just super, super toxic in that sense, to where I was just so obsessed with seeing progress, that I was basically just starving myself and eating what I knew. Like, I would eat just straight egg whites and spinach just because I knew it was like the lowest calorie thing I could possibly eat. So I would not recommend that. But in short term, if you can just stick to it short term, it's not a bad idea. If you need to cut for like the summer or something, just spinach and egg whites, you know, it's a great meal to lose some body fat very fast. But that's going to bring me into the ugly, and that is the amount of damage after that challenge that I probably caused myself, because I gave myself an ED to where food was just numbers and that's it, and fuel, to where whenever this challenge was finally over, and it never really was over in my head, but it kind of got to the point where like it was just over. So I would just go on an absolute binge, which doesn't sound so bad, but very bad. Like, I would eat until my stomach could physically not even take any more food in me, just because of the amount of bloat that was happening. And I wasn't even enjoying eating like that either. It was just, I felt like I missed out so much on food from just eating egg whites and spinach that, like, I just wanted to eat every single piece of food that I could, just because I felt like I was always missing out on it. And I did that a few times, and I felt like I was like finally making up for all the stuff that I missed out on. But in reality, it was just taking me back to day one after all that progress brought me right back to where I started, which is really horrible. So I wish I would have, in hindsight, gone into it a little bit healthier and not so dumb, basically. And then finally, would I recommend this to someone else? Honestly, yes, especially if you're someone who doesn't work out already. I think this is extremely beneficial to get you into the habits. And even if you do already work out, I think it's just a good thing to do to really dial it in. It will allow you, if you really, really treat it as a priority, it will allow you to see a version of yourself that you have never, ever, ever seen before. And it is super worth it. Just don't do it dumb like I did. Learn from my mistakes, because I promise you it is not worth it in the end if you do it how I did. But if you do it the healthy way, you will definitely benefit from it. But that's going to wrap this video up. Hopefully you enjoyed. Learn from my mistakes of my 75-day hard journey. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.